Hi, welcome to my channel. I appreciate you stopping by. Right now, I'd like to show you two projects that I started. They're actually my first chalk painting projects. I'm very excited about doing this and I'm loving it. And the first two things that I did is this frame that I took off of a mirror, and the other is a end table, which I'll show you later. I made a mistake because I painted it with a chalk paint. I used bare white chalk paint, and I used it on this mirror because this mirror was found in my basement and it was very brown and dark and dated, but as you can see, the texture is beautiful, and within some of that brown I could see some gold flecks. So I was very excited about painting it white with the chalk paint, and on the raised edges to sand it and expose the gold. The technique for sanding that I chose is wet sanding, which is once you do your layers of your chalk paint, you take a rag and you just dip it in water and you go around the raised and you essentially just wipe off the paint. Unfortunately, I wiped off the paint in some areas a little too vigorously, like too hard, and rather than exposing the gold that I wanted to see, in a lot of the places I went right down to that dark brown wood that I do not want. So you might be able to see on here some gold flecks, and maybe you can also see where it is dark. But so because I messed up, I have the opportunity to use a gilding wax. I had seen other YouTubers for chalk paint using this gilding wax, and of course I was all over it. I said, that's beautiful, I need to use it. So I ordered it on Amazon, and I want you to see it inside. It's gorgeous. It's gold, and it's a wax. It is not a paint, it is a wax, which is really cool, I think. When I got it home, though, I have to say I was a little disappointed because this jar is tiny. It's tiny. When I looked at it on Amazon, it looked larger. You know, the picture, of course, they always look bigger than they are when you get them home, but it's 2 ounces. So I don't know why I thought 2 ounces was going to come in such a huge jar, but in any event, it is supposed to last a very long time because you only use very, very little. The technique, or how we do this, the procedure is to apply this with your fingertips. So you just use your fingertips and you put it on this raised edge, and it turns it gold. So I'm really excited about trying it. Again, as I said, it's my first time. This is my first project. It's my first YouTube video. I'm enjoying it though. I really am. I hope you are too. And maybe hopefully learn something as I'm learning, because I found that painting the pieces with the chalk paint was easy. And I will do some videos on how to just paint with the chalk paint. But it's rather easy, and it's very fortunate that we have this easy technique to paint, because I love painting, but the old process of sanding and sanding painting is just daunting, and I really don't want to spend my time doing that. So when I found this chalk paint, I was so happy that I can just paint immediately as soon as I want. As soon as it hits me that I want to paint something, I can just paint something, which is perfect for me and hopefully for you too. So but once it's painted, there are so many other things you can do to your piece, as far as sanding it so that you get that distressed look. Chalk paint is very, very good for getting that distressed look, which is achieved by sanding. Chalk painting and then sanding. There's a lot of different techniques as far as how to apply the chalk paint to get some more texture. There's color blending of the different colors. I mean, there's a lot, and I want to learn a lot of them, and I want to film it while I'm learning, and hopefully you will enjoy watching and learn yourself. Behind me, you see a lot of dark wood, so you do know that that is going away. That dark wood is my kitchen cabinets, and I will be painting them. and I believe I'm going to be painting them with chalk paint. So we'll see. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go get my second project, give you a little story on that one, and then we'll do our finishing touches the right way and see how it comes out. Thanks. Hi, I'm back with the second unfinished project that I have. It's this end table, which I had purchased about 30 years ago. I've had it for a very long time. It originally it was yellow. It was like a light yellow distressed look table, and the top had some pretty flowers that were painted on it. It was a pretty table. The wood is fantastic. It's very sturdy. So I really wanted to update the look and paint it and give it a distressed look. My dog is sitting here. If you hear chewing, he's eating his food. So I did. I painted it with a chalk paint, and I used this Bear chalk paint, which actually is the same paint that I used for the mirror that we just talked about. So I used the Bear. It worked really well. I mean, it looks great. The only thing is it took 4 coats to cover this table, and which is a lot. It's a lot. It's too much. It took a lot of time. So I think I'm going to try the Annie Sloan paint, which obviously is more money than the Bear, but it promises to coat your pieces with less coats, which is a better, even though it's more money, you know, you use less paint. So economically, it's basically the same thing. But my time, you know, it takes less of my time to do it. So I think that that's worth it. I'm going to try it. We'll see how it goes. So as far as distressing the table, once it was painted, I wanted to sand it to the sides and the edges of this to give a distressed look. And I only had 120 sanding block. And so unfortunately it did not expose. It's such a fine grit. It did not go through the 4 layers of paint and give me, you know, it's yellow underneath, so if it worked right, I'd get a nice pretty yellow distressed look, but no matter what I did, I couldn't get it with this fine grit. So I did though sand the whole piece with this 120, which was not a waste of my time because it's beautiful. It came out really smooth. It's, you know, it smoothed all the edges. It smoothed any paint marks from the brush that I may have had. So the 120 worked really well for that, so I'm glad I did it. But I needed to buy, so I went to the store, I went back to Home Depot, and I got the 80 grit sanding block, and I'm going to use this to distress it. I'm going to do that, and I will film that for you, along with the process for the mirror, with the gilding wax, and hopefully everything will come out fine. So we'll see you soon. Thanks, bye. So what I'm finding is that this 80 is not really good enough either, but it must be the 4-coat situation. I don't believe it's the product, the paint that I use. I think it's just so much paint, and the 80 is not enough. So I probably need to go down a lot lower, but I'm going to continue because I want this done. A lesson learned, and I'm going to let you see it when I'm done. pieces that I have finished in my dining room. I have to say I really love them. Came out better than I thought that they would. There's the mirror. With the gold, so pretty. And the table that I distressed with some kind of strange shapes. But I like them. And the legs, the normal distressing that you see. And it's a beautiful picture. And I'm very happy with the way it worked out. Thank you so much for joining me on this, my first chalk painting experience. And I plan to post more videos, and I hope that you like and subscribe. Thank you.